are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. My name is Elle. I'm going to be your social worker.
Hi. I'm Courtney.
Courtney, wonderful. Is that what you'd like to be called?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, as you can see, we're in my office today at ABC Agency, and it's about 2 o'clock on a Monday. Is this a good time for you and a good location?
Yeah, this is perfect.
Awesome. Well, the purpose of our meeting today is just to kind of get to know each other, go over some policies, kind of get a feel for why you're here, and also to set a general goal, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, awesome. Well, before we get started, I'd like to let you know about a few policies here at our agency, okay? The first one is confidentiality, which means that everything you tell me will be kept between us. Occasionally, I may have to go to my supervisor just to get some more insight, but she's also involved in your case, so it's just me and her. All the things you say are going to be written down, and they're going to be stored away in this file cabinet, which is going to be locked, okay? And then lastly, I am a mandated reporter, which means that I am required by law to report any suspected abuse or neglect that you tell me that involves older adults, children, or anyone with intellectual disabilities, okay? And also, I have a duty to warn, which means that if you tell me that you're planning on hurting yourself or someone else, I do have to report that too, okay? Alright, so what questions do you have for me about confidentiality or mandated reporting?
No questions.
Okay, well, wonderful. Well, my role as your social worker is to just listen to everything you have to say, and help you come up with goals. Also, I'm here to make sure you're the most successful you can be and just to really help you, okay? And your job as the client is just to be open and honest with me, come to all our meetings, and just really let me know what's going on, okay?
Gotcha.
All right, so why don't you tell me what brought you in today?
So the reason why I've come in today is because me and my brother, we don't really have the greatest relationship, and we don't communicate very well to one another. Usually when we are speaking, it usually results in arguing and not really seeing eye to eye. And so with Christmas and Thanksgiving coming up, I really want to be able to communicate well and have less anger towards him, especially since this is my last Christmas and Thanksgiving break. So I want to be able to just not have to worry about getting into a fight or anything like that, but just really do my best and to speak well and to love him well.
Okay, wonderful. Well, it sounds like you're a little bit nervous about going home, and it sounds like you really love your brother and you really value a positive relationship, and you just really want to keep the peace. Is that right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Awesome. Well, could you tell me about when this challenge first started for you?
Yeah, so me and my brother, we've never gotten along the greatest. We're kind of like two different people. But 2 summers ago, I was overseas the whole summer.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a mission trip, and so it really was exciting for me and brought new light to my eyes and was a great experience. And so when I went home, I only had 2 weeks-ish until I went back to school. So I wasn't really with my brother much, but I was so excited from coming back from overseas. So I really worked hard with my brother. And so this past summer I decided to stay home because I knew it'd be one of my last summers, and I wanted to just be with my brother and be there and help him. And so we saw a lot of each other, and he ended up having a mental health breakdown type thing. And so it was really bad for him and stressful on the family. But my family kind of just wanted to keep enabling him and didn't want to get him the help that he needed, and kind of just pat him on the back and be like, it's going to be okay. But I was the type of person who was we need to get you a counselor and these things and blah, blah, blah. And every time I would try to help him, he would kind of just pity himself or make excuses or say that I wasn't trying to help him really, and that I didn't really love him and things like that. And so it got really tough because whenever he expressed that to me, I was so frustrated because I'm here for you, but you don't see that and you don't want my help. And so it was really difficult this past summer, seeing him every day and just being frustrated with him help, but he wouldn't let me, and so it would result in me getting really angry and not communicating well to him.
Wow, so it sounds like you're really frustrated and upset because you have so much love for your brother and you really want to help him. You want to do what's best for him, but your family kind of pushes it aside and pretends like it doesn't happen, and your brother kind of doesn't want help. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Well, just to kind of get a better understanding of your challenge, I'd like for you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 means that it's not a problem at all, and 10 means that it's just out of control. So where would you place it on the scale?
I think I could probably place it at like a 7 or 8, 8.9.
And why is that so high? Why didn't you rate it at like a 5 or a 6?
I think it's really high because this has been a consistent problem or a persistent problem within our family, struggling with our brother and like communicating well and loving each other well. And it's a big problem for me because I want to be able to be there for my family, and I could get married soon and have my own family, and like I don't want to have bitterness in me, and I really don't want to be bitter towards my brother anymore. And so it's really high up for me because it's something that like I just want to kind of like fix and be like we're good, and that's why it's really high up. But it's not like an 9 or 10 because I think it's within our control, within our family's control to like be there for one another, and if we buckle down, we really can get through it. So.
Right, wonderful. Well, it sounds like you really love your brother and you really want to help him and you're very motivated. And if I'm understanding you correctly, you really want to fix the relationship and you just really see it as important. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. It is very important.
Well, you mentioned earlier that your family kind of tries to push it away and kind of forget about it. So could you tell me about some support that you have maybe with your friends or maybe with other family members possibly?
Yeah, my sister, we're very much so alike, and so even though she has her own family and she's in a different state, she's kind of been through everything that I've been through, and so she's a big support system and can offer me guidance. And then I have a friend and a roommate here, and so I see her every day, and her family kind of like has had its own issues too, and so it's really easy for us to talk to one another and just keep account of like what's going on and how we can be there for one another. So she's really helpful too and can give me a different insight.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like your supportive sister and your friend is a real strength for you. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. They're really important. I think without them, it'd be more difficult to be there for my brother.
Well, that's wonderful that you have such a supportive friendship and supportive sister. So I know that you're a student, and I'm just curious, has this challenge affected other aspects of your life, like possibly schoolwork or possibly like any relationships you have?
Sometimes it's hard at school when, like, as a social work major, you do a lot of reflective papers. And so I always talk about my brother because he's impacted me a lot, especially, like, wanting to be in the social work field. And so a lot of times there's a lot of bitterness whenever I have to speak of him, or just, like, hurt because I remember, like, our past and that nothing has really changed since then. And then it can also affect my relationship because my boyfriend lives in the same hometown that I'm from, and he's really close with his family and loves his family, and he loves mine too. So he wants to hang out with my family a lot and be supportive, and encourages me, but he doesn't get it. And he's like, they love you, you should love them, like, you can do it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not that easy. And so his understanding kind of hurts, and sometimes, like, I just get really frustrated with him, and the more it goes on, the less I want to talk about my family with him, because I know that he's probably not going to understand completely.
So it sounds like your boyfriend is very supportive of you, but it's causing a little friction because, you know, he doesn't fully understand your situation. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And I know that you really want better communication with your brother. And that's something that we're going to actually work on in the next couple sessions, okay?
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do now is create what's called a MAPS goal. Do you know about MAPS goals?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well MAPS stands for measurable, attainable, positive, and specific, okay? And they're gonna help take our general goal and make it more specific, make it more manageable, okay? So we're not actually gonna create MAPS goals today, but we're gonna kind of go over an overview of what you would like, okay? So why don't you tell me what you would like to get out of this session?
I think I just want to be able to like lessen the arguments that I have with my brother and like kind of learn techniques to, instead of arguing, either how to walk away or how to like, I don't know, just be there for him without being so angry.
Wonderful. And can you just briefly tell me, what does good communication mean to you?
I think good communication would be actually communicating to one another, because sometimes we won't communicate, or I won't, because I know that like it won't result in a good ending. So sometimes I'll avoid communication, especially when I'm at school. Like I'm not gonna randomly call and see how they're doing, or see how my brother's doing really. And so I guess to be able to communicate more frequently, but also to have less arguments about things as we're communicating.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing is that up to this point, you've been unable to establish positive communication with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm hearing you correctly, you would like to take steps to have better communication and a more positive relationship with your brother. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So what we're going to do, as I said earlier, is that later on we're going to, kind of create tasks to reach that goal. But right now we're just going to kind of come up with a general goal that we both agree on, and that's that you'll have better communication with your brother, okay? Does that sound like a good kind of overview for you and a good general goal?
That sounds really helpful.
Awesome. Well, I just come to my attention that our meeting is actually coming to an end. So what I'd like to do is just kind of summarize what we went over today, okay?
Gotcha.
All right. We talked about mandated reporting and confidentiality. We also went over the fact that, you really love your brother and you want to help him. But up to this point, it's been kind of frustrating for you. And you're kind of having a lot of anxiety about going home. And the challenge with your brother is really important to you. And your sister and your roommate are such strengths for you. And your boyfriend's supportive, but you wish he would kind of understand a little bit more. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, before we leave, I would like to give you a task for next week. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like for you to write down 3 things that would help you be more positive with your brother. Maybe things that you can think about when you see him, or ways to kind of take a deep breath and calm down, something like that, okay?
Sounds good.
That sounds good? Okay, awesome. Well, is next week in my office at 2 on Monday good for you to meet?
I can do that, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. What questions do you have for me about our session or anything that happened?
So just bring my homework next week.
Yes, yeah, that is correct. So before we end this session, I'd like to get some feedback from you. How do you think that our session went today?
I think it was helpful. It made me seem a little bit more hopeful, knowing that like I can talk about this and that it's something that I can probably overcome with steps. And so it's been really helpful to be able to have another party listen in. So
Definitely, and I look forward to helping you create those next steps and really work on this problem over the next couple weeks.
gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, I hope you have a good week. Make sure to bring back your tasks, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Woohoo.